Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I once again take it as an immense pleasure to welcome our resource person, Mrs. LLRC K7, and all the participants. Ma'am, shall we wait for 5 minutes, ma'am?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Let's wait for
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, shall we start the session, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, we are good to go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So please confirm if you can see my screen and hear me good. Yes, can one of you confirm if you can see my screen and hear me good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so back after the lunch. All are really good to listen to what's coming up in store. I'll try to make this as lively as possible to prevent you from falling asleep. Yeah. So let us have less of theory and more of seeing things in action in this session. Because blogging being one of my favorite topics and one of the proven marketing strategy in the space that I'm working with in my own product. Let me try to show you a lot of real-time examples that has worked out for not just for my product but also for many other companies and many individuals as well. So getting into this topic, let us try to cover on few basic stuff so that we improve our understanding on the well-laid platform. Yeah. So first, going with a classic example of what is a blog. It's, as it says, it's a combination of two very familiar words: web plus log. As it says, it's a classic definition. Me continuously updating or logging an information inside the website could be referred to as an blog. And act of doing this is blogging, as it goes. Yeah. So why do actually individuals would do blogging or organizations would blogging? How do I see that is? It's a platform to share your opinions or views or expressions to the society or to educate your potential customers or your existing customers. So that is what I look at as blogging. So let us quickly go through some of the very familiar websites who have got into this blogging and try to understand why do they actually do that. Yeah? So here is a very popular a website, travel website, which is Make My Trip. Yeah, I hope everybody would be familiar with. So as you see, they have in their website. So I would also like to help you understand what is the difference between the website and a blog. So I can say websites will have a lot of blogs. Yes, that is absolutely correct because here Make My Trip is an website, which in turn has a lot of the capabilities, like I can book my travel, I can book my accommodation and whatnot and make my trip. Whereas it also has an segment of it called blog. Part of the website just focuses on blogging. So is it that important? And a website should have a dedicated segment that deals with the blogs. Yes, it is. In fact, when I have a number of customers, it is necessary. How do I make sure that? So there could be people who are unaware of their need. Like, say, I might want to go on an romantic getaway on my wedding anniversary, but I do not know where to go. So I lack awareness on what are the best places in India or outside India. I might be capable of affording the trip, but I'm just not aware of what are all the superb, exciting places that which I can travel from my place and then achieve that. So here is where blogging can come into the picture to bridge this gap. That is, the Make My Trips ultimate goal is to make me or anybody who visit their website go ahead and then book a package or book and travel through them. So that is a business for them. Right. So, but me being a customer, I do not know where should I go, what should I book, or what should I make use of in this Make My Trip website. So here comes the blogging that tries to bridge this gap. So here I have series of blogs that is tagged with certain attractive titles. So it says 5 of inspiring romantic things to do in Portugal. Wow, is Portugal a place which has got romantic things to do? That draws my attention. And I want to surprise your significant other planning the perfect romantic getaway. Looks like they're reading my mind. Yeah, so I get attracted towards this blog, I get into that. And if you see within this blog, definitely there will be a lot of interesting things, pictures. Even if I just flip through it, there could be a lot of things. Finally, see what they intend to do: book your flight to Portugal. How do they know that I need a flight to travel from here to Portugal? Because they read my location, isn't it? It's quite simple for a website to know from where the user has logged in. So, this is where the blog would act like an exact bridge to create awareness among your users and bring them to making us aware of what we need. How wonderful, isn't it? Say, I do not know what I want, but the website is capable enough to let me throw certain interesting things at me and then get me voted into an business. So we can find similar blogging culture in various domains. Let us see few of them to understand the different purposes of the business to come up with blogging. So we saw this as an similar e-commerce website. You can see like when you get into Amazon and when you try to get a product, if you are not aware, say I recently had an experience. I wanted to buy a microwave oven, but I'm not sure about what type of event should I have to buy. There were a lot like a solo, OTG, conventional, like what is my purpose. I was simply not very clear about which one should I choose. I did not go anywhere. They had a supporting document which very clearly said the comparison of the different types of events based on a purpose from my own experience. Say, like, if you want to bake a cake, go for a conventional one. If you want to just stop with making these dishes, and this is the most appropriate one. It was so convenient for me. So it is trying to cut short the time gap between the decision making, right? So the decision making is being facilitated with the right content that is being served by the website or the business. Say, let us look into our own product. I was mentioning about Serverless 360, which is my own product. So here, if you read, say our challenge is like Assure is a technology which is quite new in the market. Like you get new updates every day, and people are unable to cope up with that. And the technology is growing that fast that they are relying on. They do not even have an authentic source from where they can learn the technology. So that is a gap we are trying to address. We are nurturing our clients. We are educating them with what has been newly added into the Azure space. What would be important to you? Say, if you are in this business, how can you make use of it? So, such interesting blogs are being written by us. So, we are trying to nurture our clients with the right information, what they are struggling to find in the technology space. Say, look at websites like Grammarly. So many of you might be very familiar with. If not, this is a very good tool that anybody who is going to write a blog or write any content, this would come handy. So it is necessary that you learn how to effectively write to communicate your intentions unaltered to your end users. So that is where tools like Grammarly can help. Say here, these are certain blocks from Grammarly. For example, 5 positive phrases that would make your communication more optimistic. So, how do you change or rephrase your sentences to sound very optimistic? So, they are trying to educate their customers. So, blogs can be written for various purposes, and there can be individual blogs as well. There you could have found the people just for one, just for fun, whatever they want to express, they write blogs. They share their thoughts on Twitter, social media platform. That is also blogs. So based on what you want to express and what is your intention, the blogs might vary, but industries extensively make use of blogs to bridge the gap between them and their customers. So that is what I actually wanted to convey here. Why do we actually do blogging? So blogging can be done by individuals, blogging can be from organizations. So let us say, hoping that I have induced some curiosity in you to explore the ways of writing a blog. So now if you ask me, can you as an individual write a blog? Yes, of course, you can. It is not such a hard thing to do. So I just showed you a few of them from the organizations because I wanted to serve you with the excellent content. But there are individual bloggers as well who has got very good content expressing travel blogs or expressing their views on certain political affairs or happenings in the country. So there are many different types of blogs that even individuals write. So be it for an individual or for an organization, here are 7 proven steps that would help you create your blog the right way. So number 1, choose your perfect blog title. So as we saw in some of the examples, the title itself was so very intuitive. It was drawing our attention to get through the blog. So that is very important. Choose the perfect blog title. We'll see more detail into this, like what are all the various parameters that are involved in deciding our blog title. Yes. So choosing the title is very important. Building your blog idea. So it's not like I wanted to write, I'll start writing. So that shouldn't be the case. You have to develop your idea. What is that you want to convey to the world or to your target audience? Understand your audience, understand what do they need, and come up with the right content that would be of help to them. And the right content should be put in the organized in the right way so that it gives them a connect when they read the article. There should be a connect between the writer and the user that beautifully gets established when you read an article. And when you write a blog, build your blog, you should make it available to your end users, isn't it? So you have to choose the right platform in which you are going to post your blog. Get some blog design inspiration. When we talk about design, we saw different types of blogs, isn't it? If you observe, there are different templates that are being used by the different types of blogs. Say, when I get into, say here, if we see Grammarly's, say here, they are trying to educate the users. So there is no fancy designs, there is nothing, they keep it simple. Here is the correct way, this is the incorrect way, do it like this. Okay. And when you take a technical blog like what we are writing, so that will have a number of very important architectures involved in it. Like it is trying to explain you in business architecture. There are callouts that says certain things needs to be paid attention to. When you are working with this particular technology, make sure that you are paying attention to this particular phrase. And you have screenshots of the application, which are all steps or sequences that will guide you through utilizing the tool. Whereas when you look at a blog from Make My Trip, it's full of fancy, right? Because that is what they are intending to do. So choose the right pattern or theme of your blog. This completely depends on who is your target audience, what is the purpose you want to achieve. So get inspired. Try to read a number of blogs, get inspired by the designs and themes, and then come up with your own blog design. Select a great blog theme. This again depends on who is our target audience and what is the purpose that we would like to solve. With that, you will be good to write your first blog. When you are writing your first blog, take help from tools like Grammarly or Microsoft Word itself is equipped to give you or spot any corrections in the phrasing of your sentences or grammatical mistakes or spelling mistakes. All those should be paid attention to, because only when it is basically or grammatically correct, people will have the trust to go ahead and read your information. And get involved in the blogging community. It is not just sharing the content. You should be involved in the community. So when you are publishing your blog in a medium, and stay connected through the relevant community. So when your blog is on lifestyle and travel, explore other bloggers who are traveling, who are writing blogs on lifestyle and travel. Comment on them, genuine comments, and try to get inspired from those blogs and put forth those ideas in your upcoming blogs. So that is how you keep evolving. So, and when choosing your blog title, I would say choose that you are very passionate about. That could be technology, and that could be travel, or whatever you want to acquire more knowledge on, which in which your thirst would never go off, and which you want to share with others. Where do you see your expertise is on? So that should be your perfect blog space or title that you are choosing to come up with. So here in the previous slide, we talked about many things, but certain factors needs a deeper attention or understanding into it. Choosing the platform. So I come up with a blog. It is necessary that I make it available to my end users or my target audience, right? So how do I make it available? It is through hosting it. That is, I should make it available to my end users by through an URL. So how do I get an URL for my blog? So all those that we just saw are all of corporate standards, and there are there any free hosting options that I can consider? Yes, of course, there are free hosting options. Say like we have WordPress, it's an Bluehost. These are certain very affordable, or they do offer a free tier as well. There are a number of free options that are available for hosting. So when you want to get an reliable, so when you want to monetize your blogs, that is when you want to make revenue out of your blog, you cannot go for a free hosting option. Instead, you'll have to choose the one which is best viable for me to get my return on investment. Let us see why I cannot stick on to a free hosting option when I want to make this as a part of my profession. So many free hosting options have unwanted ads. Like after I write a blog, after a lot of research, and then I put it, publish it through a free platform and make it available to the users, Imagine how annoying it would be if it keeps showing unwanted, unreliable, like there is no connect between my content and that ad, but that appears on my uh, website, so blog. Will I be comfortable in that? Definitely not. I do not want. And the features will be very limited, whereas way I would need templates or themes to quickly create on my content and then get them online. But the free hosting solutions usually offer very limited features which are not adequate for me to come up with an out of box content. Limited bandwidth and speed. Imagine you hit an URL and you wait for a day long to get the content loaded. Will you be ever visiting the blog again? Or often when the URL is hit, it goes down. It says it is not available at this point in time. An unreliable server availability, or then intolerable speed. So these are certain challenges with the free hosting options. Pay money to move your website. So many places I have seen this. So they will let you create your complete blog. You would have spent a lot of time and effort in pulling your content together. But finally, when you are all set to publish, that is where the bomb would come in saying you have to pay the money to publish this. So you do not prefer to have such annoying experiences, isn't it? And no true domain name. Same when I go back to one of the examples. Say when I look at here, there is a genuine domain name. So this is called domain name. That is into the domain which my blogs are residing in. Makemytrip.com. And it's a secure protocol protected. So these are the URLs that I can trust and move ahead, right? Say if you see here, it's a HTTPS protocol and it is in an authenticated domain. And same here. So if it is something like XYZ and then blogspot.com, so would anyone trust it to be an authenticated content? So getting a genuine and dedicated domain name is very important when you are going ahead to publish your um, blog. Yeah, I request people to go on mute if you are not intending that, please. So, and domain name is very much necessary to build the trust on your users whom you want to be the regular audience of your blog. And none of the free hosting options provide you with a domain name. Customer support, very important. You see your blog site is down and you need somebody to look into that. So none of the free hosting options give you an customer support. So it becomes hard for you to even figure out why the server site is down and when it will come up. So when you are building a profession out of your blog, definitely this is not affordable. Much more, but I feel like you are getting the point, right? Like you have a lot other challenges when you are going into an free hosting option. But what we are trying to say is if you want to avoid these, or if your intention is to get a fast website, so go ahead and choose at least a basic tier and then start um, building your blogs. And when you want a great and helpful customer service, paid version is the choice. Full control over your blog looks without paying extra. Like when I have published a number of blogs, I want to go and then see how many traffic it has got, how it has been performing. And when I want to modify the content and then say I need to have an update on the existing blog content, then my choice should be an paid platform, because the free options do not get me all this. The ability to get a large audience to your website, this is very important. I cannot go ahead with a service that is going to go down when my number of audiences or when my traffic is going to increase, because our intention would be to increase the traffic, isn't it? So when I choose an option, you should have this consideration and a seamless scalability, irrespective of whether today I get one customer and one user, and tomorrow I have thousands of users. It should seamlessly scale to meet the demand on runtime. Unsolicited ads. So I do not want annoying, irrelevant ads to be published on my blog. I need a regular. I need an restriction on what I would intend to have in my application or website. Your own domain name, this is very important, and successful experience. So only when you have an own dedicated domain name, people are going to trust you and read your content or interact in your blog page, and that is when you can monetize your blog. So there is something called domain authority. You will get a domain authority only when you have a dedicated domain name. So these are certain points that I will have to keep in mind when I choose my platform. So what are the various operations, options that are available? So let us see some options that are available for me to host my blogs. So when I have my personal requirement, I can go ahead with the choosing um, hosting options like Bluehost. Bluehost is has a connection with WordPress as well. So like Bluehost is where I host my blog site, whereas WordPress is a platform where I can build my blog site. So they go both hand in hand so that you get a dedicated domain. Say if you explore the package that they offer in the basic tier, you get one website. One website can in turn have a number of blogs in it and a free SSL certificate. So you get to see HTTPS on the top and storage of 50 GB. And at any point in time, if you run out of the storage, you have an option to upgrade to the next plan, which is also affordable, just 299 in Indian currency per month. You can you get an unmetered SSD storage, free domain for 1 year, after which you will have to pay for the domain cost, and 5 parked domains and 25 subdomains. So these are what you get from a basic tier, which is just 200 per month. Yes, it's less than a cost of a pizza. So you can start at the basic tier and upgrade whenever it is. And WordPress is so simple to start off with. You do not need any extraordinary training to scale up or understand this platform. It is self-explanatory, and you have hundreds of themes that are readily available to go ahead and then start creating your blog site. You can build your complete website in minutes with the automatic installation. On a click, the background, your website gets hosted, and you get a dedicated domain with an URL, and you can start writing your blogs on them. So sorting out the hosting options. So once you write your blog on the platform, it is going to be available to your end users. But how do I actually write a blog? How should a good blog be like? So tips to write a blog like a pro. This is an skill. In fact, you learn it over a period of time based on the domain that you are working on or based on the purpose that you are trying to solve. But these are certain tips or steps that you will have to keep in mind when you are arriving at the blog content. First of all, choose your blog post topic. So this should be selected out of your passion. Like I told before, you will have to choose the topic or blog topic that you are very passionate about, where you want to explore more into and like share your expertise with the audience, and pick one clear angle. And when throughout your blog, be very clear about what you are trying to convey to the end audience. Say, when we let us pick up one of the blogs and try to understand how they have written. Say here, the topic. As I said, the topic itself draws somebody's attention. The same techniques that we saw in the email marketing, like the tips to optimize your subject line or your email content. So that is basically content. It holds good here as well. So you will have to select a title that can have numbers or which is very attractive to an user to look into. 5 of inspiring romantic things to do in Portugal. So this is an very well chosen title. And in the first paragraph itself, you should make sure that you are convincing the reader to go through the further article. That is, you have to develop and connect with them. You have to make sure that your idea is very clearly conveyed in the very first paragraph. Want to surprise your significant other? Planning the perfect getaway. Going to propose your partner, whatever be the reason, Portugal is the perfect destination. So here, the author very clearly conveys what is their intention in this particular article. They are going to talk to me about 5 things which are about romantic experiences. So if this content is for me, I'm going to proceed further. Otherwise, I'm going to stop at this point and get away. So this project, this right angle or right intent, try to connect with the audience at the very first beginning of the blog itself. That is very important. Pick one clear angle. So get organized. So which one am I going to put first? Which one am I going to? Usually, how I would do is I will build a connect between the content that I am working on. Say, let me show you one of my blogs. So here, yeah, here is one of my blogs. Monitoring a fleet management system using serverless 360. So this I am focusing on a specific set of audience who are working on a specific domain. Yes. So if you observe, there is an, so I'm very clearly saying it's an logistic solution provider. So if I am an I am working on a logistics domain, then this particular blog is for me. So I can start going ahead or I can stop. Yes, and it has a very clear agenda of what it is going to talk about. So I generally have an pattern of writing. So that is really up to the writer, like how the way you connect with your audience. What I usually do is I try to fit in the technology to the real world scenario. Only then I feel the audience would be in a position to understand and assimilate the technologies that we are dealing with. So as you see here, this would appear as a Greek and Latin for you because this is completely on an Azure technology, which is complex, or even for people who are working on this particular IT space, it is hard for them to understand because all of them are very new and evolving technologies. So every day you get a new update on the feature, new update on the technology that Azure offers. But how do you effectively convey this to the end audience? So let us pick up a story. Tell them something which is very familiar to them. So I have picked up here a fleet management system. So this is an interesting scenario wherein this company has got vehicles all over the world. For example, you might imagine the shipping department of Amazon or an Ola cab system, which has got their cabs spread across a wide region and they are from different locations. So when I book an Ola cab, I get an real time tracking of my vehicle. So say if I am booking it from my home, which for which the Google location is Kavikudal, and I get to see how wherever the cab is from, when he would reach here, when should I be ready, and when I should be boarding into the cab to reach my destination. So this is amazing, isn't it? So how see how the technology has added value to how am I dealing with systems here. So earlier when I have to book a cab, I would have made a cab, called up a number. They would make arrangements, and I have no clue when the cab will arrive. And but now things have been made very transparent. But when you look into the underlying technology involved, they're really complex. There would be a device implanted on every vehicle that is being roaming around in the city. That could be an handheld mobile of the driver, which spots the current location of the cab. And that is being integrated to the customer's mobile, that is from where I have booked the cab. And there is a connection between these two, which is done at the server that is residing in the cloud. Yes. So I am trying to give the audience a real time scenario which they are very familiar with. So this device and then take them to the underlying architecture. So this is how I organize my content. I tell them that so something that you are very familiar with, that you use day in and day out, has got an complex architecture behind it. So let us try to understand that architecture. So that is my second viewpoint. So I help them understand this architecture, and then I get into how my tool can add value to this particular architecture. Say, if you are an organization who has built an application like this to support your users, you would definitely need a tool like mine, which would help you to manage this system. So that is the organization of my content. And finally, I have a call to action that tells, say, by now, when the customer or the user reads the article till this point, they would have developed an interest on the product. So now I place a call to action which lets them try the product for free. Yes, and finally, I should give an proper closure. That is also equally important. Like you kept talking about a lot of things till now, and finally, if you leave them without any closing note, they will not take away anything. So the takeaway is very important. So finally, you have to summarize on what did we explore in this particular blog, and how is it going to add value into their business. And you should also say that how they can stay connected with us in the upcoming things. So here we give another call to action, which could be in registration to our webinar or and sign up to a free trial. So that is our ultimate aim. So place, organize your content, and open strong, as we say. Like the first line you should have a very concrete saying that what is the purpose of this blog. Write naturally. You are ultimately posting your content to an human being. So write it naturally. Like what do you feel? You write it. Write emotionally. Try to connect with the audience wherever possible. Try to say like you can do this to make this better, and close strong. The final closing should give them a key takeaway. Say, let us also check here. So they have a clear organization of content. So as you see the titles, see, hop on a horse, drawn carriage ride through Penna Park at sunset. So it talks about what I can do there, and something about the food, and monument, music madness. Say, when we say it is the title of the content should go with the title at every single point possible. And how about going to the end of the world with your love? So here, look at the closure of this particular blog. So few kilometers from Sintra is a breathtakingly wild, rugged Cabodor Roca surrounded by quaint fishing villages. So ready to celebrate in Portugal? Book your flight to Portugal. So this is how they give a strong closure and then give an appropriate call to action. These are certain points that we love to keep in mind when we are authoring our blog. To summarize, choose the right topic, which you are very passionate about, and decide on a clear angle, like what am I trying to convey to the end users through this blog, and stick on to that throughout the blog. Get organized, put your content in the right pattern so that it feels like and storytelling for them. They get a clear flow of what we are trying to convey. Open strong, close strong. The starting is very important to let them decide whether they are going ahead with this article or not. And the closure is also very important to give them the key takeaway that they should learn from this particular blog. Write naturally, like put forth your opinions or views in the most natural way, and write emotionally and connect with your end audience in your blog. And certain basic things goes without saying. Make sure that your blog is grammatically correct, and make sure you are giving the authentic content. Like don't write just for the sake of writing. Always do proper research, do a lot of analysis, and then be sure about what you are talking about. Only then come up with the article. So there is an assumption, or there is an observation that blogging is fading away. Actually, the change is inevitable, right? So, but I won't accept that blogging is dying. In fact, the how we were blogging is evolving or changing. Certain facts which has worked in the past have proven not to work now. It is very important for us to understand what has not been working, or what has been changed now. So earlier it used to be like post more frequently to expand your traffic. Like people would recommend you to give a lot of blog posts for in a short span of time, so that you get noticed quite often. But that's not the fact anymore. Like people prefer quality content over quantity. So you can replace 10 of your blogs with one quality blog. That would more than be enough, instead of giving, because you have information spread across the website. Earlier it would have been a few bloggers who were writing content, so they were advised to be stay always on the spotlight. But now that is not the case. We have got a number of bloggers, or a number of blogs that is spread across. How do you stand out is very important. You need to make sure that the content that you are providing is of the best quality, instead of bombarding the audience with a number of content, quantity of content. So entertainment content is no longer considered as blogs, or no longer being successful blogs. So entertainment is now being deviated into social medias like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That is where, say, I take a picture with my child. I don't prefer to write it as a blog. I instead that should go in as an Instagram post with a short description about when did we take this picture, what were so special about it. So that is how the world is changing. So you need to utilize the right form of communication to let the world know about what you want to know. Clickbait headlines, like just because I have found this headline, I cannot just talk about it. Like instead, we are looking for sensible content in the internet. Just because you took a headline and you keep talking about it, people would definitely not entertain that. And generic blogging is going out of fashion. Like you cannot pick up a topic and talk very generic about it. Instead, go very specific. Like, who is your target audience? Try to pick up, say, women of age group 10 to 20, and this is the topic that is very relevant to them. Go very specific into it. Say, when I am working on technology, I will have to go check and then exception handling in logic apps. So that should be my specific topic that I am going to talk about in my blog. And I would also like to show you how the content should vary with different target audiences. So let me pick up our own blogs itself. See, I showed you what a blog is in our platform. So here we have a number of blogs. So here the intention is to nurture our potential customers. That is, they are they are still not our customers. They are users. So there was one question in the previous session in the email marketing. How do you get these contacts? So I think missed to answer that. So one of the ways through which we try to gather very relevant audience is through blogs and uh, webinars. So I'll show you the examples of various of contents that we create to target at different audiences. So there are people, so I get into Google. So I also showed you, I searched for a blog which was written from me by me and it was organically ranked at the first page of Google. How do we achieve this? Is the next topic that we are going to talk about. So now let me pick up on another topic. So this Azure Service Bus is one of the services in Azure, which is I'm showing you all the demos from my own product because that is where I do not have any restrictions on. But I'm sharing you the tips on how we manage to get these things done. So when I say Azure Service Bus, this is our blog which gets spotted on the first page. And as you see, it would either be Microsoft content or be our content. So this is what you need to achieve. Like if you pick up a space, it should be your content that is being ranked organically. Like I'm not paying any more for getting this in the first page, but still it comes up in the first page because this has been approved by a number of views by the customers, like many or not our customers. In fact, this general audience, anybody who is trying to learn Azure Service Bus, I wanted to give them the right content that will help them or get a complete understanding of what Service Bus is all about. So what we did is we created a super blog. That is a blog that has got reference to all the blogs in this particular topic. So this I call as a pillar page actually. So pillar page is anybody who wants to learn about this particular technology. When they land on this page, they are going to get whatever they want. So the intention here is not to sell my product. It is to educate the audience. Like people do not even know how to make use of this in their application architecture. So here I have a complete overview of this technology and which is provided in a very convenient way. So if you see the organization of this pillar page, it will first tell them about what is this particular technology. So you have difficulty in understanding where people are using it. So here, let me help you with an real-time scenario where this particular technology is being used. The one highlighted is what this technology. It actually works with other services of Azure and it solves an business problem like you book an Ola cab, right? So the Ola cab at the back end, you have an application like this running. So I'm trying to educate my potential users about what this particular technology is. So I'm giving them the details of the technology and I'm educating them, in fact. And finally, what I would say, like this is how you would use, these are certain other blogs that would help you. So I have sourced content from all the experts on this field. So when we talk about Azure, there will be people across the world who are experts on this technology. So I get the content from all of them and give it handy to my user. So when they start reading this content, when they get all that they want to understand about this particular technology at one place, they would definitely go ahead and start utilizing this particular page, isn't it? So this page becomes more popular and popular. So number of clicks increases, the domain authority increases, and my page starts coming up at the first page. So when anybody searches for Azure Service Bus, they are getting delivered with the content that we have written on this particular technology. Yes. So to achieve this, it is not an easy job. there are certain tools that help us to bring this to this form. So this is one way of writing my blogs. That is a pillar page which has got links to all my useful content. And this is, say, as I said, the contents are transforming. Like you have to embed interactive videos within your blog to engage your audience. Yes, so this particular page we call as a feature page. That is, anybody who had selected this tool should have a quick overview of what are all the capabilities this tool has got for this particular feature. So we give them a quick feature page. So this is another form of blog content wherein we have embedded video and wherein you have a quick bullet points that tells them about what they are looking for. And another form of if they have made become my customers, then I will have to engage them to sort out their day-to-day challenges. So they are using the product, they have some challenges. How do I ensure I have fulfilled their needs? For them, we have a dedicated spot called documentation. So anything they have, say they are installing the product, they have some challenges, so they can check out here, which will give them the solution for that. So depending on your business or product space, you might have to create different blog contents that would be of use to various users. They could be your existing customers or your potential users or anybody who is exploring into this space. Say a student today who wants to learn this technology might be an developer in an organization tomorrow, but you have to nurture them today to ensure that when they get on into a role in an organization, they remember that there is a tool called this which was helping me in which might help me in my business. So this is where a blog can help an organization. So for an organization to cater the needs of various of their end users, they will rely on blogging and they will have to provide different varieties of content to fulfill the needs of various end users they might have. We also have another platform, say, as I was mentioning, say when my target audience is students who are trying out this technology. So here we have a platform called Notes. So here we pull together the tips from experts. So when you see Eldart Gutenberg, he's an Azure MVP. So you have got tips from users across the world, not just users, they are leading contributors or all Azure MVPs who are across the world. So this is how organizations heavily invest on blogging to ensure that they stay top of the world to fulfill their customer needs. So when anybody who is working on Azure space needs something, this either the Microsoft itself who is a discoverer of the technology, or it should be ours who provide service on that technology. So that is how you will have to conquer the space to ensure that any user who wants to come in would come would you would fall into their site and you serve them with the right content. And this requires immense effort from our end to make sure that you get spotted on the first page of your on the Google search. So let me give you a quick strategy behind how do you find your spot on the first page. So this is the second half of our session, the AdSense. So Google has an section, like a tool set called Google Ads. Let us try to understand how is it. So the moment I get in, I have certain attractive numbers on the screen, which would definitely draw your attention. So the AdSense has made a huge difference. They are saying we have paid out nearly $10 billion to our publishers. So does it trying to say that I can make money out of it? But that was not the context we were talking till now, right? I was talking about the context of writing blogs to build the bridge the gaps in my business to connect with my end users. That is, of course, the primary intention of blogs when it comes to enterprises, because our main revenue is based on the signups. We really do not depend on the numbers that we get through ads, running ads in our website. As you observe, in none of our blogs you would have seen any other advertisements. Yeah, so because we want to focus on like delivering only the intended content to the end users. So till now whatever I showed you, be it make my trip or anything, you would not have seen any other advertisements running it. But I can, there could be certain other cases. Let me show you. So even here, they are trying to keep things very clear. We want to serve you with the content that we actually want to give it to our end users. But certain scenarios might be different. So let me search for another page. Okay. See, there is an island called Bora Bora, right? Where you can spot sharks. I am looking at in the Google search shark in Bora Bora. So I find an website called travelcroc.com. So the moment I get in here, I read about this, I find an ad here. Fast and easy, secure WordPress hosting. This is based on what I was searching now. Say I went in this website, it scanned my behavior and it is showing me the ad of how do I get an free domain set up here. Yes. So based on my browsing history, I can find ads popping up on this page. See, there is an ad from Mintra. There is an ad from Bluehost. Yes. So what are they trying to do here? They are trying to push me towards sales of another product which is totally irrelevant to this particular blog site. But how is it going to be beneficial for this blog site owner? He's going to get money whenever I click on this ad. So I can understand like many are now trying to think, how do I make money out of blogging? Yes, so bringing the relevant content, that is the constructing the right content, is of course very difficult. You will have to rely on multiple tools, you'll have to strengthen your expertise and then come up with your content. But making money out of it is not that very difficult. So you have we saw the spaces in your blog site, right? So here there was a space here, the prime space, there are here. So these spaces are being bid for ad space by the advertisers. So millions of advertisers compete for this ad space. That means more money, more relevant ads, and more ad space is filled. So this every space is associated with an specific amount of money, and you if when the ad appears on your blog and when a person clicks on that and there is a conversion, you get an money added into your Google Ads account. Yeah. So this is what Google Ads does. But how do I get this done? So when I went and searched for shark in Bora Bora, this particular article popped up here, right? To make my article available here, what should I do? Because only then the user would land up on my page. Only then this particular ads would pop up on my page. Only then I would get money. So how do I make sure that I make my article is on that page? So that is where our tips on writing the blogs will come into picture. So choose your blog post topic. How do I choose my topic? So I am interested on something. How can we make sure that that is going to be of interest to many other users as well? So you find the gap, right? So I am passionate about something, but how can I make sure that there are people having a similar passion who are looking for content in that space? So that should be somebody who is going to help me, who is looking at the search of many people. that is Google. Okay, so here we have Google Ads has got something called keyword ideas. So just like our MailChimp demo, here I'm going to focus on certain things that would be relevant here, and which would be in a position, you would be in a position to digest it in a short span of time. So I'm going to give you, say, something called keyword ideas. Okay, so when I try to start writing a blog, so let me search for that itself, shark in Mora. Let me get the result. So this is one keyword that I'm planning to place in my blog. Okay. Or let me try something like my domain, assured service bus. So here I've got a lot of parameters. What it says, this is the keyword that I actually typed. Okay, it says it has an average monthly searches of 1K to 10K. That is, in an average, in a month, there are at least 1,000 to 10,000 times this particular keyword is being searched in Google. And if I have a blog and I have an ad in that, I would get a top page bid of 9.73 and a high range of 373 rupees. So this is if I write a blog and if it gets ranked on the first page, and if there is an ad that is appearing on the my blog, I can earn, there is a possibility for me to earn this much amount. That's what it is saying. Say, let us try some other. And I also wanted to tell you, like, it also suggests me of secondary keywords. Say, when I look into this keyword ideas, there were assure message queue, assure service bus pricing. These are also certain other keywords, but that I can choose to have in my blog. So if I have this particular keyword in my blog, when somebody goes and searches for that keyword, my blog has a possibility to get listed on this page. Okay, so more the keywords, more the authority, more it gets common. And more people will search for this particular term and land upon your article. More they find your article to be relevant to the topic, the ranking keeps improving. What we can do is, when you build a blog or author and blog, you can search for the keyword that you are trying to build. Say, meal delivery. And you also should notice this competition. Okay, so it has got a low competition. It has also got a similar monthly average searches, and if I run an ad, I can have the possibility of earning this much. So this keyword idea is an capability in Google Ads that can help us earn from your monetizing your blogs. That is possible. That what if I want to create ads about my um, sorry, excuse me. What if I want to create ads on my contents? Then I will have to use the ad plannings, Google Ads. Okay, I will have to run campaigns. I will have to create ads. Say example ads would be like this. Say I can say on the place, and this is an example ad. I can create ads and I can run a campaign to attract audience to my page. This is also another way to get your page ranked in the initial pages of the search result. Say, so these are all for monetizing when you are an individual blogger. But the most important fact is, always keep in mind, whatever you want to write, make sure you become the subject matter expert on that. So that is the ultimate goal or ultimate takeaway from this session that you should have. Yes, it all fancy terms that says that monetization, you can earn from your blog, but you should be prepared to wait for the time that that it turns out. But your ultimate goal should be to become a subject matter expert and earn, like, get the authority on the content that you are trying to build on. I should also show you about um, another tool. Say if you are an organization who is trying to build a knowledge base. Say I was showing you about the documentation, right? Wherein the target audience is customer. And I would like to provide them with the authentic content, in fact a knowledge base wherein they get all that is necessary for them to know about the product. So for such cases we have a tool called document 360, which is an knowledge based software wherein you can we have got the content editor, and wherein you can build your content. Say I can show you one. It has a platform. It helps you with the hosting options. So you get, it's a complete platforms which gives you the editor, the designer, and the hosting option. So you can choose platforms like this for professional cases, and even WordPress is a convenient platform for independent bloggers. Here is WordPress.com, wherein you can quickly create your website. Say, just like what they have shown, gives you everything you need to start your website today. Free hosting, your own domain, a world-class support team, and do much more. So to start off with, you can start with the free hosting, and this is more, and it is not very costly at all. You can start free and upgrade to an affordable pricing plan to acquire its features to its fullest. So when you get into the features and quick overview of what it has got, you can create a robust website. So we have our external bloggings hosted in WordPress, which is proven to be reliable. You can plan your budget and you can get custom domains. So there are a lot of like renowned brands. They are customers of this. You have dozens of themes, and you can do it even from your mobile. Like you can create a site that is mobile friendly, responsive themes. It's fast and friendly support. You have a dedicated support team who would help you when you are struck. So it has an excellent content editor as well, so which can give you suggestions on the errors, and which can help you build an effective content. Or else you can use tools like Grammarly as well to build your content and then port it into the platforms like this. So this WordPress would be my recommendation when you want to start off for your personal blogging requirement. Whereas if you are an organization, then you need a better tool like which will help you manage your teams. Like you should say my products documentation is hosted in Document 360, wherein you have options to manage your team. So ideally, organizations will work with the teams which who has got various roles on the product, isn't it? So I can have a different say I am the owner of this particular project, I have admins, I have editors, I have draft writers, because I do not want anybody to publish an article on behalf of the product. So I need to define an complete role access system. I need to audit their actions. There could be requirements for me to integrate this application with various other platforms. So I need backup and restore, import and export. So for such robust and requirements of real-time business knowledge base, I would call this rather as a knowledge base, which is also in form of blogging, but it's a knowledge base wherein the demands are much more than a simple blog site. So here, then I would need a robust platform like Document 360, which can fulfill all my documentation needs. So here I have an editor wherein I see this is a markup text. Say a markup text is known for its platform independence. So when I just paste this content and then put it into Grammarly, it would hold the same styling, and unlike, say, this is my Grammarly page wherein I get to evaluate the grammatical correctness of my article. So I can set goals to my article, and I can check whether are there any issues with this, writing issues with this article. So if there were any grammatical errors or spelling mistakes, I would have got it spotted here. Let me induce some and then show you, say, the entire. I will modify the content. Say the moment I kept a wrong spelling, it is pointing me out that this has to be modified. So in this has a premium tier as well. Like I have another account which can tell us um, suggestions on rephrasing these articles to make it sound better or better convincing to your audience. So using the appropriate tools available in the market, you can really come up with an effective article, though you do not have much knowledge into this writing space. So this document 360 works on markup style of content, wherein you can just copy and then port it here. And on publishing, it gets available in a public platform like this. So this is actually what you see here. See, what is serverless 360? What is serverless 360? This is the page that we have actually edited here. Let us close these blocks. We have edited here, and on publish, this is available to the end users. That is, this is a publicly accessible URL. Even if you hit on this, you will be in a position to access this article without any authentication. Whereas editing this article is limited only to a team of people with different roles that they play on the product. So yeah. So landing pages is another concept that I wanted to discuss. So when you create an ad, you can associate that to an landing page, which will help you to receive those sign-ins that you get in Google AdSense. So we saw about what is blogging and what are all the various platforms that are available for you to blog. So there we explored what are the different types of blogs that various enterprises write or individuals write, and how what is their ultimate idea behind writing the blogs. So we checked out about Make My Trip, whose idea was to educate or like create a curiosity among their users to go ahead and then start initiate their business, invite them to choose some packages in them. Whereas a product like in the technology front, we were trying to educate or nurture the audience. A product like Grammarly was trying to educate their audience, and a platform like Amazon was trying to give the necessary inputs to their end users so that they move ahead to the purchase. So when we observe for all the enterprises, blogging is a platform that connects their users with them and tries to reduce the conversion time. Like what is the time that takes for their end users to make a business with them. So their intention is to cut off or reduce the time and deliver them with the right content. Yes, and I should also show you one another example. This is a connection between the session that we had in the morning and with in the blog section. So we have a rich source of blogs which targets about various stages of the customer. So in the previous presentation in the morning, we saw there are different stages in a customer life cycle. Awareness was the first stage, wherein they are not even aware of the technology. So here what I'm sharing with you is an automation workflow. We have got this automated using Microsoft Power Automate or Microsoft Flow. So that's an interesting service, Microsoft Power Automate, which can help you build sequences like this. So I'll show you a quick glimpse of that. Flow.microsoft.com. You do not even need a subscription to start off with. So you can boost your productivity, or you can define simple workflows like this, which will automatically trigger relevant emails with relevant blog links without any manual intervention. So it's quite simple. You have a number of uh, you have number of connections readily available. Without writing a single line of code, you can get this thing working. It's quite simple. Let this start off by, meanwhile, I will explain you what we are trying to achieve here. So there is a customer life cycle. So at the beginning, they are not even aware of what the technology or what is a challenge that they have in the technology. So first, we should educate them on the technology. So what we do is, when a customer signs up to the application, we'll first give them an beginner's guide. Or even before signing up to the application, when they search for Logic App related content, there we start an customer lifecycle being managed. So this is actually email marketing, but it is powered by blogging at the background. So we have blogs at the background which are supporting us to serve the right content through email marketing to the end users. So we would say is, we have created an Microsoft flow that will get triggered through an event when the user checks for a Logic App content. It will automatically send out an email to them with the blog content. So this is a blog which can give them a necessary information about Logic Apps. So when they want to learn about Logic App, here is an Logic Apps beginner's guide. So this blog will be automatically sent to them. So when they land up here, they have an sign up and get the white paper. So this answers the question that we had in the morning, like, how do I get relevant email IDs? How do I build my target audience? This is one of the ways to build the target audience. You create an email marketing sequence, or an email marketing sequence, and you place an placeholder in your blog content to collect relevant audience. And one another way we collect the relevant audience is through webinars. So we conduct regular webinars. So participants, and this will have heavy promotions on the social media. So when they are promoted, people would register here. So there would be at least 500 to 600 registrations for every webinars. So we get an authentic. So person who registers for a webinar on Azure is a potential lead for us. So they are working on this space, and that is why they are expressing their interest to study on this technology. So these are various methods through which we collect the sensible or true leads, genuine leads. So we maintain an audience list. If, for example, the MailChimp can have an target audience list being maintained there. So you can create an audience list, and based on their actions or events, you can start off with an user nurturing sequence. So the first is, we create an awareness on them. The first few mails will intend just to do that. It will talk about various components of Logic App, or what are all necessary for him to understand about that particular technology, and then gets little more detail into how are this being used, what are the best practices. So basically, we will give them whatever it is required. First, learn the technology, then learn how to use it, then get to know about the tips that the experts, people who have used, are talking about this. Try to get that. And leveraging Logic Apps on custom connectors, get deeper and deeper into that technology. All that they want to know about that specific technology, we keep sending them as an at regular interval, or as a consequence of an event that they do. So every single article here will also have links to other relevant blogs. So they ultimately get to a point like they find whatever they want within serverless 360 domain. So they start trusting the domain. The domain authority improves, and they when we finally they find that this domain is associated to a product that is going to solve the challenge. So that we will try to convey them in the last few emails. So keep on top of your spend by tracking assure costs. How do you track? Using this product. Lower the total cost of ownership of your application. How do we do it? Using this product. So this is a typical product marketing email sequence. It's an email marketing powered by the blogs that we have on this product. This is how you can connect the techniques that we have learned today in the morning and also in the evening. So here I am coming to the end of the session. So I hope all are with me. Yes, people? Yeah. So any questions or any feedback? Thank you, thank you. I can see a lot of comments. Yeah. I hope yeah. Yes, sir.
The MailChimp and Grammarly, are they free or paid or both?
You can start Freezer. It has free, like basic capabilities in the free tier itself, and they are affordable actually, not very costly. When you want to get the fullest capabilities, you'll have to switch over to a paid version, which is affordable.
Ma'am,
Thank you,
for
ma'am, for
blogging, is
your
WordPress, can you compare WordPress and Blogspot?
Comparison, like I preferred WordPress because it was more convenient for us to build, but I cannot actually give you a verdict. Blogspot is also equally good. I cannot say like, but the reliability wise, the availability, we found WordPress to be more promising.
thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation.
And like
Ma'am, here are some
which is
queries.
the which is the other thing other than WordPress? Just now you told
Blogspot.
blog. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
There are
It
many
was very
alternatives.
informative.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
One is open source, the other is by Google, I think.
Yeah,
That is the difference actually.
difference.
Nice, ma'am. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank,
It was a pleasure meeting you
thank you so
all.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was an informative class, and we are looking forward for your next session. Thank you.
Thanks, Namita. Yeah.
And your communication skills is awesome, ma'am. And I'm glad to hear that your class is very nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Namita.
Ma'am, it's an informative session.
Thank you, Jemko. Happy to know that you all enjoyed being with me for 6 hours, because usually the corporate training sessions would not go beyond 1 hour or half an hour. So I was wondering, how do I keep the audience connected for 1.5 hours of continuous talking? I'm happy to know this. It was kind of
Yes,
successful.
ma'am,
Yeah.
it was really interesting. That what I was saying. Really
Thank you,
interesting.
Namita. Thank you so much. Hope we can stay connected on much more
Yes,
Thank
opportunities.
ma'am.
you,
We
ma'am.
are looking forward for your next session, ma'am.
Thank you, yaar. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation on the
Ma'am, please send me your contact number.
Yeah, yeah. I would share my LinkedIn details. You can find me in LinkedIn as Eldasi Keshavan. You can drop in and request. Just make sure you are. I'll share my LinkedIn details now. Yeah. So here is my ID. I will also place it in the chat so that anybody who wants to stay connected, please send out and
Madam, I have one doubt. Can you hear
yeah,
me?
please. Yes, please.
Madam, actually, Blogger is pre-hosted by Google, I think. Is it correct or not?
Blogger is free hosted by Google, yeah. But there would be a
Then you,
limitation. At some point in time, you will have to switch over to the paid version. If you want to enjoy the reliable platform, and if you want to monetize your blog, we recommend you to choose an paid version.
but you insisted there is a limited bandwidth like that. No. But
Yeah.
Google is provide the unlimited bandwidth to every blogger. No, is it correct or no?
It might not be correct. It will definitely not be correct because, see, there should be some distinction between the paid users and the free users, right? So that the priority would be definitely for paid users. You can start
Okay,
with
thanks.
effective, but
Please send me
say
your
a
contact
dedicated
details.
domain won't be available. Domain itself will cost you. So that you will have to bear. You'll have to buy the domain at some point in time. And only when you have a domain per specific domain, you can create a domain authority. So when you want to make it as your profession, you will be forced to switch towards an paid platform at one or the other time.
Madam, I created one blog, madam, to write the articles. In that, I only can, madam, other persons, if I, other persons cannot in that blog, madam. Only I can access.
In which platform did you create it?
WordPress.
You will have to publish it to make it available to others.
Okay. In that option also is not there, madam. I created the to add others also there is no options, madam.
Okay, so maybe shall I help you with a tutorial that will help you do that?
Yeah, madam.
Yeah, I'll share a link to you in this chat.
Ma'am, please send me your contact details.
Yeah, I just pinged right my LinkedIn profile ID, or you can connect on Twitter as well. This is my Twitter profile.
I mean, chat box it is.
We are not able to see, ma'am.
You are unable to see. Yeah, I am sending it to everyone.
Twitter came, madam. Twitter came, madam.
Okay.
If
LinkedIn.
you mail address is
I'll send again the LinkedIn one.
mail ID. Okay.
And your WordPress tutorial, I'll give you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation on today's session on the topic email marketing and AdSense and blocking.
Yeah.
So here is a short sum up of today's session. Email marketing is the art of sending a commercial message, typically to a group of people using email. In its broadest sense, every mail sent to a potential or current customer could be considered email marketing. A blog is a discussion or informational website published on the World Wide Web consisting of discrete, often informal diary style and test entries. Blog is a blog publishing services that allows multi-user blogs with time-stamped entries. Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Sumati, for this wonderful opportunity, and thanks to all of you for listening to me. And wish you all a great evening.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you,
care.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so
Take
much.
care, all of you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Also have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Hi, ma'am. Awesome presentation, ma'am.
Thank you. So I'll take a leave. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hello.
Please send me your contact number.
Ma'am, 7738312011.
Ma'am, please send me your contact number in chat box.
Ma'am, I'm sending the same in chat box. Ma'am, I didn't mark for attendance, ma'am, last 3 days.